expenses.
Yeah, so we're always told, save for emergencies, expect the unexpected. So we got retirement and finance expert Kyle Odell here to talk about those life challenges. Kyle, first question, talking about saving for a year, can you actually do that? Is that a thing that a lot of people do?
I see families do it all the time. And, I don't care if you're a baby boomer, Generation X, millennial, or whatever. I see a lot of families every week that have a tremendous amount of money saved. I think a lot of people, we tend to fall into one of two categories. Either we're an investor and we pay ourselves first and we save 10 to 15% of our paycheck right off the top, or we're more of a consumer, that when we get a pay raise, we go spend it. We go get a new car, a new apartment, or we get that tax refund and we go shopping. So, I have families that I see all the time that, maybe they had a low income over the years, what we would maybe a lot of times refer as a lower income, $30,000, $40,000, but they paid themselves first right off the top. And I see families all the time that did that saved $1 million. I see it all the time. So it doesn't matter your income. It's really, do you save money right off the top and pay yourself first? If you do that, you can save a tremendous amount of money.
Sure.
I know a lot of, we've been watching these federal workers with missing 2 paychecks, and some people live paycheck to paycheck. How do I go about the process of getting ready for that? What do I do? Do I lay out my bills and how to make a spreadsheet or something like that? How do I know I have enough money to survive through something like we just saw?
It's tough because that affected hundreds of thousands of workers and then government contract workers beyond that. So some things that I think that group can do, because we're looking at maybe a 3-week period here before maybe we have another shutdown. So some things that they can look at doing. One is to maybe go ahead and start looking at a part-time job out there. Whether it's driving for Uber or Lyft, there are also things such as TaskRabbit or Remote or AngelList, where companies or individuals are looking to hire people on a contract basis to, accomplish things. And so you might be able to even, if you get a couple of those jobs, replace your current income. So those are things to look at. You can also, look at a lot of the credit card companies and banks. One of the things that they did that I think those institutions really stepped up and did a great job of the last few weeks is they reached out to everyone to say, look, if you're part of this layoff, that reach out to us because we will work with you on your budget and so forth and make sure that that doesn't have a ding and it's negative, against your credit report. So I think start preparing for that by saving, eliminating some of that debt, building up some money, but maybe look at that part-time job.
Do I look at like 3 months out? I know they always say, isn't that the good rule of thumb, is 3 months expenses, just to make sure you have saved somewhere?
Right. I'd always say at least minimum of 3 to 6 months, somewhere in there. There was a study, the last, what we would refer to as the big government shutdown that happened. It was in 2013. It wasn't 35 days like the one we just had, but there was a study on that, and it showed that the average government worker only had 8 days of cash set aside to sustain themselves. Now this lasted 35 days. So obviously this had a large negative impact against a lot of people. So that's where you've really got to have that plan in place. And I think having a plan, there's some great steps that we can take on that end too.
So realistically, what does that look like? If you're talking about 3 months, a year's savings, what's like the base that you would tell everybody this is how much you should at least have?
Yeah, I always, when it comes to that, I never tell someone this is what you need to have, right? It's more about what helps you sleep good at night, right?
What makes you feel comfortable.
So, is it 3 months income? Is it 6 months income? I have some families I deal with that, they need a significant amount, set aside to make them feel comfortable. So whatever that amount is. But one of the things I would start doing, let's take a different approach to all this. That word budget, the B word that we all, a lot of us makes it cringe, right? All right, yeah. So rather than do that, let's take a different approach here. Go log onto your bank account and print off your bank statements from the last couple months and all your credit card statements. Just start going through there. Take an hour today or a half hour and just start going through there and looking at where am I spending money that it just doesn't make sense, right? And start asking yourself before you make a purchase, does this move me forward to accomplish my goals? Does this increase my financial situation here? Now, a lot of times it won't. The answer is going to be no. Now, it doesn't mean that we just need to slam on the brakes and pull all the way back, but that's going to help you to create some accountability in there so that you can make better decisions, right? So maybe start there. Look at all those statements and start going through there and maybe have a goal. Say, okay, I'm going to find one item on here that I'm going to eliminate that's a recurring expense. Maybe it's that gym membership that we haven't used since January of 17, right? So,
oh, speak for yourself there, Kyle.
Right, I know. I'm the only slacker.
All the time.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. Thank you very much. I mean, that'll help a lot of people. Hopefully you take that advice. We'll be right back.